In today's video, I'll show you how I got these shots all by myself. Welcome to the channel. My name is Joko, and on this channel I talk about photography and travel. So if that is something that is of interest to you, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any future video uploads. Now let's jump straight into the video. First of all, you need three things. Well, obviously a car that you can drive. Secondly, you need a heavy-duty suction cup or suction device. Could be also a magnet, I've seen those too, to attach the camera to your vehicle. Now, I went with a heavy-duty suction cup. As you can see, it has 3 suction cups with a simple switch to turn them on and off. There are some that you also pump. I don't have those, but there are some like that. This particular one is from King. It's not sponsored, but that's what I found on Amazon, and I found it to work quite good for my needs. It has some holes here through which I ran a safety wire with some carabiners at the end. I put this one actually on the rear window wiper, and the other one goes onto my camera, so that in case this gets detached from the window and falls off with the camera and everything, I still have everything holding onto the rear window wiper. Safety is your #1 priority when it comes to doing these types of stunts. So please make sure that you have your equipment secured and you're not losing it on the highway. And the #3, the most important thing is the camera. I have the Osmo Pocket 3. It's not sponsored by DJI, but this is a very neat little camera that does the job perfectly. Alright, so what you see me do here is mount the Osmo Pocket 3 onto the rear window, and I will twist it slightly because the Osmo Pocket 3 has this weird motion range on the gimbal to the left hand side where it's, it won't go a full 180. And that's why I'm compensating for that lack of motion range so that I can get a full 180 view of my back in case, I go in the right lane, he's in the left lane, and vice versa. So that's what I'm testing right now, making sure that I do get the entire motion range in the back. And now this device that I'm mounting here is a mounting bracket for the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, and I believe it's from DJI, and it's simply to mount it on different surfaces, I guess. So that's what I'm using to attach my safety line on. And now all you gotta do is connect it to your phone and you're ready to go. If you do have a dedicated driver, please use them. Have a dedicated driver for your vehicle so that you can solely focus on framing your subject instead of driving and framing. Doing this by yourself is extremely difficult, and I wouldn't recommend it, but if you don't have any other choice, then that's what you got. Obviously, what are you gonna do? If you have a dedicated driver, it is 10 times easier, but if you're doing it by yourself, make sure that you are doing it safely. And safety tip #3 is be in touch. Talk to your driver of the other vehicle at all times. Дойди тука на мосто, баш искам да направим така. You want to do that for multiple reasons. You want to make sure that you communicate well with the other driver so that he or she don't get too close or too far away, so that you can adjust your framing correctly. In case you get lost in traffic, just like we did, you know what's going on and you can plan ahead so that both of you are on the same page instead of pulling over or creating, traffic hazards on the road. Be in touch, communicate with your driver, with the other driver at all times. One of the very cool features of the Osmo Pocket 3 is the auto tracking feature. Now, since the phone is wirelessly connected to the camera, you have a live view, streaming view of whatever the camera sees. You can select your subject and it will keep that subject in the center of the frame. Now, sometimes it does get attached to some weird parts of your subject, like the mirrors, and it will keep the mirror in the center where when you don't want that, you have to readjust So that's why I'm saying having a dedicated driver will help you out in those situations so that you can solely focus on tracking your subject by yourself. But again, if you're doing it by yourself, you have to go back and forth every time you are losing the subject out of frame, or if your framing is not right. That is a little bit challenging, like I said, because if you're driving on the highway and there's a lot of traffic, you also need to pay attention on vehicles passing you, from either side, so to say. What I found really useful and interesting is when I was doing we were driving on the highway while we were doing the first trailer, the Conestoga trailer. I did not flip the view on my phone. So whatever I was seeing on my phone screen, cars coming from the left side, they were actually coming from the right side. So that was a little bit confusing. I changed it later for the reefer trailer, but that is another thing that you need to pay attention to. So don't focus too much on your screen, because you need to keep your eyes on the road. Use the auto tracking feature, which is very helpful, and all I was doing is just pushing the button to take the photos, which is fairly straightforward. Do this when there is light traffic. When traffic is heavy, there is not much maneuvering you can do, and it's very difficult to get your framing right, to get your subject in the right position, and to take good photos because of cars just zooming by you and the truck itself. Now we just came back from filming on the road. We are going to switch up trailers because we just filmed with the Conestoga and now we need to take a reefer trailer so that we can film, do some photos with a reefer trailer. Because this trucking company, they have both Conestoga flatbed and reefer. That over there is my friend.
Of course, that's the right guy, yes.
That's your go-to guy when you need issues, problems.
Anything I do for money, Just tell me.
We've been friends for a while, and we have, that's our way of having fun, of going back and forth, obviously. But what I want to do is, while we're waiting, I want to check on my equipment, make sure that everything is still safely secured. What I did now is I flipped the camera, actually, because I had it like this, but I flipped it so that the people from the left side will be on my left side and people coming from the right side will be coming from my right side here on the screen. Also, another good practice is when you're doing rolling shots, or whether it is photos or video like this, is to stay in contact with the driver of the vehicle that you're taking photos with, so that you can communicate and coordinate back and forth who's gonna go forward, backward, and you can also coordinate with, easier coordinate with traffic. So that's another useful tip. Plan your route. If you're unfamiliar with the surrounding area, make sure that you know which way you are going and communicate that with the other driver. Don't just simply jump in the car and start driving. You need to know where you're going so that in case there is, an accident or something on the road, you can not only avoid it, but you can also know at all times where your other driver is if you get lost in traffic. That being said, the second time around we decided to go the other way around, just because the interstate on the other side had less traffic, so we wanted to exploit that and take advantage of it. Now the only downside to it is that we do have a little bit of more driving of locally, where we don't have two lanes, so it's just simply one lane, and you definitely don't want to take risks in a two-way traffic because there's obviously cars coming all the time and you don't want to create any unnecessary risk for yourself or the other vehicles. Overall, this type of photography / videography can be a lot of fun, not only for me but also for the clients, because they have never seen their vehicles or their equipment in such light. If you're going to ask me which do I prefer, taking photos or videos of trucks, I must stick with videos because it just feels more dynamic and epic. but for photos, they offer a lot more creative freedom when it comes to editing and style. In the end, it's all about doing what you love while helping companies improve their online presence. So if you or someone you know needs shots like these, feel free to reach out. And that concludes the video for today. Thank you for watching. I hope you got something out of it. I tried to share as many things as came to mind, obviously, but if you do have any questions or any comments to add, did I miss anything, please leave them down in the comments. I would love to see them, to see your suggestions. You know, it will also help me improve on my videography, my photography for the future. So leave your comments down in the comment section below and I will respond to you as soon as I can. Other than that, thank you for watching and I'll see you in my next one. Треба додати штук.
Співаємо, так, захист при темпу.
А?